Hey everybody, my name is Breezy. Welcome to my build in City Skylines. This lovely city that I've been working on is named Katayna. Now Katayna is a Shoshone word that means village. And the Shoshone Bannock are native to southeastern Idaho, which is the inspiration for this build. This is kind of a Great Basin, southeastern Idaho, kind of rural Utah, rural Nevada themed build. And I am honored to bring you to this city and have you join me on the journey. So today, for this video, I have obviously been working on Katayna for quite some time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an overview of the city and kind of orient you to my plans for this build. Then we'll do some minor detailing. Detailing is not one of my strong suits, but it's something I'm trying to work on. Yeah, I hope this is a fun video. It should be fun for me. I hope it's fun for you. So to start off, this map here is one that I created. It is centered on a small town in southeastern Idaho named Iona, which would be in this vicinity right here. Idaho Falls would be in this area. These watercourses are actually based off of the canal system, the irrigation canal system that's found in this area. I enlarged them and made them a little bit more functional, so they're not quite this big in real life. These are the size of rivers. The ones that you would find in these area are small. This particular simulation does not do small watercourses very well, so I took some liberties and I enlarged the watercourses and I created kind of this very interesting system of islands. The textures in this map I created myself, and I'm going to be honest, aside from the lava rock texture, I really don't like it that much. The bright yellow works somewhat. This is the color of these hills in the bright sun in the fall time is about what you would find here. I actually used a satellite image of a local hill to create this color. And it is effective, it works. The cliff textures are also from a local hill, Big Southern Butte, a volcanic hill, and it works as well for the most part. But this green, man, oh my goodness, it hurts my eyes. It is just this lurid, disgusting green. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I also did not utilize the tools at my disposal for this build. So as you can see, I used the Eastern Cottonwood asset, which the Eastern Cottonwood is very similar to the narrowleaf cottonwood, which is native to the area that I'm basing this theme off of. But I did some later work after I created this map, and I created a cottonwood gallery forest that looks a little bit more engaging than that, as you can see. That's a much prettier and actually much more true to life cottonwood forest that you would find along the rivers and streams here than is what I actually put in. So regrets, but you know, I'm still new to this whole process. Oh gosh. There we go. Anyway, so that's my thought process behind the map. Again, mistakes were made. I really wish that I had done the forest differently, and I wish that I knew better how to create more realistic colors. Again, the darker green of the base game is more akin to what you would find along riverbanks and streams, etc., than whatever this crap is that I created. But I wasn't able to recreate that in the game very well. So, you know, that's just part of the game is learning, and that was a learning process for me, and I'm sure that I will have more learning experiences to go through. Now that you have an understanding of the map, where it comes from, and the general theme of my build, I'll go over some of the plans. This is Katayna. I'm thinking of doing several little towns and farming areas, kind of little towns like this one right here up through the hills. I put some natural resources on this lava hill right here, so we'll do some industrial builds up there, some mining, and then I'm thinking we're going to do another city of similar size in this corner of the map here. I don't anticipate that this map will have any more than 50 to 60,000 population. It's just not, I'm not going for anything huge. The 30,000 square miles that I live in, the part of Idaho that I live in, has maybe 300,000 people at the most. So spread out, small towns, we'll make it work. We'll have some fun. I'm going to make sure that my names are all derived from Shoshone-Bannock words in honor of their place as the First Nation. That's the goal. That's the overall goal. We'll found a town up here, fill in the spaces in between with farming, with forestry, a few mining and other operations, some other small towns in the hills, and we'll go from there. Now I'm going to give you a brief run through of my city and what I've built so far. This city was based upon Idaho Falls, Idaho, which is my hometown. And we'll start with the downtown area. It's not very big. And I utilized a lot of workshop assets that have to do with Main Street, USA. Didn't do perfectly at it. There's definitely some room for improvement, but this is pretty true to life. These older buildings interspersed with some newer ones, Walgreens and maybe some larger offices and residential buildings. This downtown, I'm pretty proud of it. I enjoyed it. It was fun to build. This is Main Street right here. And I surrounded the downtown with some kind of nondescript residential. Most of these are custom assets. These duplexes, these kind of large, these are vanilla assets, but these assets are King Leno right here. The duplexes, these ranch houses, most of these are custom assets. As you head up Main Street, it's pretty common for these western cities to have most of their commercial districts concentrated on the main roads, as I'm sure it is anywhere. So again, utilizing custom assets, I put a KFC and a bank and some gas stations and a Culver's and a Wendy's, just kind of typical main road commercial assets. And then on either side are older historical neighborhoods, and that's what they're intended to be, with some more modern assets kind of fitted into the neighborhoods. And I do sneak a few vanilla assets in here, but most of these are custom assets as well. I've actually found the Canadian houses pack to fit really well for this neighborhood, and then the ranch houses pack to fit really well for this neighborhood. And again, there's some room for improvement. There's some assets here that don't belong, but overall, these neighborhoods look really good. This is the Oak View Elementary School asset, and I made these way too many parking lots. We're going to do a little bit of minor detailing to round out the video, and this is one of the likely targets for that. So this right here, this office park, again, most of these assets are custom assets from the workshop. And this is based off of the INL, which is a nuclear laboratory that has its headquarters in Idaho Falls. Quite a few of the largest buildings in the city are located kind of in the headquarters park of the INL. And this is another tempting target for some additional detailing. I am not a huge fan of how this is laid out. It looks kind of ragged. We've got to do some work here. And then Main Street terminates in a roundabout. I'm trying to avoid the use of roundabouts. The big highway roundabouts like these are not common, if almost unheard of in this area. I don't think I've ever encountered one. But the problem is, so this intersection right here is actually pretty close to what you would find in southeastern Idaho and the rural intermountain areas that are the inspiration for this build. And as you can see, it doesn't really work. It's very inefficient, leads to some traffic backups. Reworking these intersections is going to be a goal of mine for the future. But for now, it's not something that this isn't so worrisome. Um, it does work okay. Obviously there's a lot of traffic that's moving through here and not very well, but it's, something down the line, a problem for future Breezy to work through. Right here is, oh, we got a little abandonment. Fun. I'll take care of that. This right here is a commercial build that is, again, very similar to something you would find in these Intermountain communities. The Walmart has kind of an accompanying restaurant, kind of upscale restaurant. There's an Olive Garden right outside the West Side Walmart in Idaho Falls. And then there's also a large cinema in Idaho Falls, so that's what this is based off of. And, selected a few more assets and just made sure this was a big asphalt wasteland with some large assets and lots of parking, because that is very true to life for this area. I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to touch on this build. So I actually did a lot of detailing. Go me. And created kind of this town center vibe. We have some shops, that kind of centered around a Costco with lots of parking. I did some detailing, put in a few assets, and then you go over here. I use Avanya's industrial and kind of, police station, just kind of a town square, town center vibe here. I also put the city's hospital in this area. And I actually did some nice detailing work for this, and did some detailing, put in some sand pits, or not sand pits. That sounds like something from Star Wars. No, sand. Oh, what do they call those? My brain is blanking. Sand boxes. Good gracious. So this is a beautiful asset. Highly recommend it. And then these neighborhoods, I intended. What are you doing there? Hello? Go away. Nobody wants you. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, what the heck is going on? Oh my gosh. I am getting all sorts of... Okay, hold on. I gotta get rid of these. These are gonna bug me if I let them persist. Okay, I think I got rid of all the errant assets. Good. These are the American Eclectic collection that are found on the workshop. Beautiful assets, so well done, and perfect for this kind of more upscale suburban environment. Again, more detailing work is needed. I need to kind of fill in the medical center square with some parking spaces. But in general, this is probably the best done build in this entire city. So beautiful. I really like it. So that's this little build here. I'll just take you briefly through the industrial section of the city. I did this out of necessity. These kinds of big honking industrial builds are not common in the Idaho region, but the simulation demands its due. So here we are with a big, awful industrial area. I left some of them to be vanilla assets. Never going to do that again. The vanilla industrial assets look terrible, and I do not like them one bit. So for that reason, most of these are going to be Avanya's Industrial Evolution. And these kind of red brick, smokestacky kind of assets are actually not very common in this region either. So once these level up, they'll keep them historical at the second level. These are a far more common kind of vibe. I'm going to touch on this little intersection here. Again, I am trying to avoid big roundabouts. Those don't work for the vibe. At the same time, the simulation demands its due. And this intersection is one of probably the busiest in the city. It works okay. It's not horrible, but as you can see, traffic does back up quite a bit, and there's definitely room for improvement, but I am not 100% sure what to do differently. So Have a little town center with a historic library and a gas station and a laundry and some other. Oh, what the hell are you doing here? Go away. Yeah, so a few Main Street kind of assets, just kind of a nice little town square in this section of the city. So this is an LDS or Mormon chapel here. So the LDS religion is a big part of the Intermountain community's history, and there are a couple of really good LDS-themed assets on the workshop, so I decided to include them. Then we come over here, another elementary school asset. This is a mid-sized elementary school. It's a beautiful asset, does really well. Oh, and this texture, this ruined texture, I thought I was being clever, and I used a picture of lava rock as the ruined quote-unquote texture in the map, and it looks awful. It looks so bad. Gross. So something I need to change and figure out how to change at some point in the future. We can have some nice little apartments. These apartments would not be uncommon in this area. I also, as you head further north, or excuse me, south, this is pointing south, more apartments. These apartments, they're pretty, the style of apartment is pretty common in this area. This is an LDS temple. I included the LDS temple because, again, the LDS religion is a big deal here. So, again, more detailing needed. These would normally be festooned with gardens and just beautiful, but it's not really that way right now. So we'll do a detailing video at some point. So we'll go up here again, another little town center here, another neighborhood with kind of historic houses and some other, charming little house vibes. It's just kind of a nice little neighborhood. And I renamed this large grocery store Winco. Winco is a local company that does grocery stores. So this is Winco right here. And, it has a little kind of town square vibe, some commercial surrounding it. So the idea of it was that as the farther south you go, in this stretch of the city, the rougher it gets. These are public housing, and there's not a lot of public housing in Idaho Falls. There's a lot more in Pocatello, but I figured that a couple of squares worth of this kind of housing would be appropriate, and they are wonderful assets. Very boarded up iron bars. Just they're wonderful assets. They're very evocative. And again, just the farther south you go, the worse things get. And now we're in the region of mobile homes, and lots of mobile homes. These King Leno assets are perfect for this kind of area. I think they're called the low residential pack. Some of the level one square assets work really well in these neighborhoods, as do a lot of the level 1 University City assets, such as this one right here, which I think is just perfect for this kind of a build. And, farther south you go, the worse it gets. Obviously, there's some abandonment here. I need to take care of that at some point. But it kind of culminates in this old factory build. Idaho Falls doesn't have a lot of these, but Pocatello does have more of them. And I just pieced together some 1950 style factories. Again, a workshop item there created this kind of this big factory style build here. A little more industrial with this build right here with some of Avania's assets, and then just surrounded it with some kind of awful commercial, not so, kind of just a rough neighborhood, right? And, we'll have to kind of figure out what's going to go along the waterfront. I think we'll do a waterfront build at some point. And the last thing I'll highlight as part of this is this little build right here. This is a town based off of a little resort city, Lava Hot Springs. So I just pieced together a little town, and I found some more assets that work really well with this vibe, and I'm going to come back to this little area and do some more detailing and So this was a fun little build to do. I did it the other night. So yeah, that is what I have built so far. This little area right here has been begging for some reworks. I don't like the way it looks right now. It just does not have quite the vibe that I'm trying for. So I'm going to redo some of this, figure something else out with it, and do some detailing, and that'll be how we end this video. I think for me, this asset right here is too big. You know, we already have, I think it's too big. Both of these assets right here do not belong where they are. So I'm going to delete them. We're going to put in, we have some of these West Coast office assets, and then distribution center. Okay, so I think that's more of the vibe I'm looking for, something like that. Those are a bit too big. That does not have the same kind of architectural style. Oh, that was the wrong side anyway. Okay, so if it fits, it sits. There we go. That one works there. And we need something a little skinnier in this area. Okay, so that's not going to work. So we're going to see here. I'm using, I believe, the wide sidewalk road. Yes. I'm going to turn off all of that. Don't need it right now. Okay, so we'll bring it out like that. Go back. And if it fits, it fits. Perfect. Okay. I like that so much better. Those other assets were just too overwhelmingly big. So look at it from a couple of different vantage points. Yeah, it kind of gives it a nice little crawl in height. These stick out too much. They're too big. They're not too big, they're too tall. So I'm going to get rid of them. We'll go to industrial, and not the industrial, the office in the, and we'll go with this one. That's much better. Much better. Wonderful. And I think we'll use the same asset in this location here, because again, I'm just not a fan of how tall that is compared to the other buildings. I think that's kind of what was striking me as not very good about it. So, oh, and that came the same color as the original asset. That is a nice little serendipity there. Okay. All right. So now we have, a couple of main buildings surrounded by some smaller offices. This is very, very appropriate now. So I'm liking how this is turning out. I think we need some fencing. Oh, you know what would be even better is if we got sound barriers going. So let's see if we can get some sound barriers. Is there highway ramps with sound barriers? No, that's a bridge. Dang it. Okay, so we'll upgrade that. Oh, you know what I could do is I could take these. Let's see here, I'll delete these. And then I will use the network, no, not the network multi-tool, but I can't remember what the name of this mod is, but it allows forcing the use of bridge pieces, which that's what this is right here, is a bridge piece. And I think that would actually look really nice, comparatively speaking, anyway. So we'll just kind of drag it along this cliff face. That is just a charm. Wow, that worked really well. Except the bridge piece doesn't really do well with the sound barriers, but you know what, that's okay. We'll get over it. And we'll do the same thing. Let's see here. So, excellent. The asymmetrical 3-lane has, oh, and I need to turn that off. And we'll go back to normal unmodded road behavior. Okay. Okay, so that takes care of the need for fencing along this section. Not quite. Okay, I am liking the layout of this a lot more. The crawl and height is more appropriate. There's not some big, huge assets sticking out like sore thumbs. And I do like this repeating pattern of these 4 offices. So this works. This works really well. Okay. So what I was thinking next is there's another asset that I wanted to include because I just want to. So there. So I downloaded the Spring Hill Suites and the Courtyard by Marriott. Isn't that fun? I just think it would earn us a little money, and it would, like, it just feels like it would be a kind of a if it fits, it sits moment. So we're gonna try it. Get rid of that, and we'll go back to the hotels, and we'll put that right there. It is completely black. What in the actual is going on? Like, is it covered completely in felt? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Okay, let's try again with the other one. See, the one that we just tried was a Courtyard by Marriott, so we'll do the Spring Hill Suites. I am missing something here. Yeah, that's not going to work at all. Oh my. Okay, so never mind. Never mind. We're going to go back and replace that plaza. I always say that wrong. I always say it plaza. It's plaza. Got to be proper. Okay, that's better. So never mind. Ixnay on the hotel hay. We had some nice paths going up and down here, so we'll bring those back in. How can we, so now that we've figured out that that is not going to work, what can we do with this space? Not 100%. I kind of made a little hill and put this office on a hill. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't like it. So we're going to get rid of that. Get rid of these. And I'm going to go back to the leveling tool. We're going to decrease the brush size significantly. No, that's too small. And decrease the brush strength so we don't cause any drastic changes. And then we're just going to level that right back. Excellent. Okay. That looks good. So now we have that big empty space. So why don't we bring the road out? And I think I'm going to respect, there's paths on either side. I'm going to bring it out to short ways and then kind of curl it in like that. And what can we place that would be most appropriate? You know, I think I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to do that. That feels more right to me as to how this will go. We're gonna look at the... Ooh, I like the curved roof on this asset. That looks nice. Wow, okay, so, where should we put this? It doesn't really fit on either side, to be honest. Not really liking how it's... So I think that's a problem with the way I've laid out the street, so we're gonna do this instead. Ah, right there. That's what we're looking for right there. Okay. Gosh, was there a way to flip it? I want the curved side to be facing the road. Visible. So never mind on that. Bring this up here. Like that. Doesn't quite fit, but I think we can make it work. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that works. I think we have ourselves an office park. Okay, so we have, bring that back down, bring that down. So right now it's like kind of a toss-up between green space and asphalt, and I'm not sure which one is going to win out just yet. I think asphalt all along here would be most appropriate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Surface Painter. See, the problem with Surface Painter that I found, I'm going to increase the brush strength to 1, is that it leaves this kind of ugly scar across the sidewalks. I don't like that, I'm going to be honest. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get the apron. And normally the apron doesn't sit with the other assets. It doesn't play well with the other assets. Kind of a bully child if you try to put it down and then it deletes them. So we're going to use Anarchy. Okay, there we go. And we're going to place them along here. There we go. I think that fits. And we might do another smaller, like maybe like a smaller office asset that would fit in this 2x2 square here. Why don't we do that? 2x2. Why don't we go with either the wall to wall. Oh, I love that. That is great. Let's see, what is that? Oh, level 3? We don't want level 3. We want level 1. Oh, that is perfect. Love it. Okay. I'm going to put a little more parking. No, I don't think we need it, but, detailing is detailing. Sometimes it's not the simulation that demands its due, but the detailing. So, okay, so we have a little bit more parking. Oh, I like that. That looks so good. Oh, and I didn't see the side of it. That doesn't really mesh well with the rest of the office park, does it? Which kind of these buildings are a little more drab. Oops. Oh well. So, not liking this. Let's get rid of this. Oh, and that leaves... Oh. Isn't perfect, but it'll work. I like that. That adds a little bit more kind of interest to this area. Okay, so... I think we're going to bring this around back. And we'll be sacrificing the, what do you call those? The paths, but that's okay. Oh, nope, not what I wanted. There we go. We are going to use apron and fill almost all this in with concrete. Great. Now what? And we'll move this building back a little bit and do some surface painter instead. And I think I probably would be more averse to doing all of this asphalt if I didn't have some new assets. I found a bunch of planter assets on the workshop, And for a professional plaza like this, I think these would work really well. Ooh, I like that. That looks good. Yummy. Okay. So we'll just go through, we'll kind of detail this space with some more planters, maybe some decals to create some little walkable spaces, some sittable spaces. You know, we'll just have some fun with this. And I'm going to kind of speed run this, and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back everybody. I am going to say this is complete, even though there's plenty of work that could probably still be done on this. I am losing interest, and so I don't want to do it anymore. But I'll give just a brief recap. Something probably could fit in right here and something right here, but on this side of this building, this entrance opens up to this court here with a couple of benches and some planters and some trees. And this side of the building, again, some more planters, some decals with some benches. Again, it's kind of a similar story here and here as well, although we added a fountain to this one and kind of made this jigsaw puzzle look. Over here, we used that was interesting, the green grass decal from mid-century modern, and the planters to create kind of a green space right next to this basketball court. And coming up here, we used the fountains and some more planters and trees. The fountains coming from plazas and promenades. Oh my gosh, I cannot say that word right. Coming over here, some more planters and some trees, and just kind of adding some concrete pavers to make an appearance of like a wide path going from the entryway to the building, and just kind of some basic detailing, nothing huge. Same with this right here, just kind of some planters, some trees in each planter. Less, I'm not a super huge fan of the look of these pavers, but they'll do for now. And then the last bit of detailing I did was I created another grass texture on this side, and makes it kind of look mowed, plus added some trees. The last bit of detailing I did was I added some sagebrush. Okay, so like I said, it's not going to be perfect. I'm sure there are perfectionists among you who are going to look at this and be like, that's crappy. But you know what? I don't care. It looks good enough to me. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me with Katayna, and I will see you next episode. Bye.